Hey, Queen Bee or Kumbi.
Hello.
Hi there on
Hello. Hi. Waiting for us
YouTube.
on tube. Hello.
Yeah, how's everyone doing?
Good
Okay.
evening, everyone.
Good evening. Good evening. Good evening to you all. So, how's everyone doing today? My God, I mean, this is the second to the last weekend in or Sunday, 2020.
2020.
Wow, what a year! What a year! How are we all doing anyway? Hi, Melanie. How you doing, Tina?
Hi, Datina.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thought I'd bring them out for this as we're running up to Christmas.
Oh man, interesting. So, right. So today, we're gonna. I mean, there are two strands or two directions to today's session. Um, we want to find out from you guys. So it's going to involve a lot of your participation. So I know you guys listen to us in between doing other things, but we want you guys to, fully engage with us today. So, given the news about tier four lockdown, it'd be interesting to hear your plans for Christmas.
Or have they changed?
Well, yeah, if your plans have changed for Christmas, Boris, Prime Minister, was talking about initially was talking about having a very little or merry little Christmas. So I wonder whether your Christmas is going to be merry little, and what those plans are. So if you care to share, would you say our own plans have changed?
Well, planning to go and see my parents at some point. So I guess that's not allowed now.
Okay, right.
So yeah. So I guess yeah. I mean it almost yeah, I mean I don't know if you know, last minute plans, not kind of the things that we've already set, which is us being at home.
Yeah.
So not really, but does that mean I don't see my parents?
Well, you can see them online. A video call and stuff like that.
Oh, sure.
So, has anyone's plans? Well, I guess the first question is, what plans do we have for Christmas? And then has it changed in any way, given the new announcement? It'd be good to hear your thoughts.
I was looking just at details, and you know, it was they were saying that yesterday stations were packed. Car hire companies were getting requests for people to hire cars so that people can leave tier four before
Wow.
the lockdown starts. So people were leaving London, Southeast, trains were packed. Even taxis were taking people further than they
Yeah.
would usually go, just so that people could leave
Yeah.
London or the Southeast and move to somewhere where there's a bit more freedom.
Wow. Well, I mean, from my understanding of the new restrictions, I mean, there's nothing like Kumbi, I told you were in that chair, so shouldn't that affect you?
Yeah, but it depends on if your plans originally, because their plans may not have been to have a big Christmas.
Yeah.
Some people's plans were okay. It's just mixing of three households, so they're gonna mix,
Yeah.
three households. But if the plans were just to have a small one anyway, then it may not have changed.
Yeah.
Oh, you just unpacked your bags. Oh,
Where were you going to travel to? And you already bought your tickets, and I mean, yeah, what was that plan looking like at the time?
Oh wow, really sorry for that change.
Yeah, good to hear. Um, yeah.
So have your plans changed? Are you what were your plans for Christmas and have they now changed from what they were previously?
Wow. Wow. Okay, so you're going to go to Ireland, but then obviously that has changed now. Did you already book the tickets? Was it already like good to go? Tickets booked, ready to travel? It's a good thing anyway. I guess maybe well, I'm not sure it's a good thing. I mean, I was thinking of traveling at some point before, but it wasn't something that I was sure about. But even with these new restrictions now, it's a bit difficult. All right, wow.
Oh, Oh wow, so sorry. Presents bought. Well,
Okay.
presents can be delivered later.
Yeah.
You're planning on going away for a few days. Ah.
Right. So,
Mm,
how about those that are intended having people in or over? I
mm,
mean, are you still going to have them?
yeah. I mean, people probably made food, ordered food, and so on if they were expecting guests around.
Yeah. Funnily, I was having a chat with some guy the other day,
Mm,
and he was telling me about the fact that he made plan. Well, that they were just going to himself and his wife. They were just going to drive. Just drive around, visit people. Like we would normally have done
mm,
many years back. Then I reminded him that is there a way that we're all on sort of tier three at the time.
mm,
He said, well, he wasn't thinking about that. So
mm.
now even with tier four,
As his plans changed.
well, I suppose it should. It might not have, but I suppose it should have changed. You know, so that's interesting.
Yeah. So has anyone been disappointed? Anyone else been disappointed about the changes that have happened overnight? Basically, I think it's actually quite unfair that there was no notice. I can't imagine how the shops are even managing. But for people that have bought the tickets already, um, and were planning, now they have to make alternative arrangements.
Yeah. Now, to be honest, when I think about, 2020 now, anyway, I don't know that. It's been, at times when you think, oh well, it couldn't get any worse, whatever. There are not too many surprises anymore, really. To be honest, I don't know that this change, albeit is not what we're expecting. The year has not been what anybody expected
Yeah.
anyway. So somehow, I imagine that we all have sort of conditioned ourselves to make the most of what we have.
But I think for some people, like Christmas was something to look forward to. And depending on their situation, they were looking forward to seeing family that they haven't seen in ages.
Yeah.
And now that's not allowed, shall we say? I'm not saying that people may still do it, but um, essentially the government saying stay in your own house,
Yeah.
or stay in your own bubble.
But if you think about it also, um, Eid was cancelled pretty much. So the Muslims didn't really have anything. Easter, I don't know that we really did any proper Easter.
Mm.
So I think 2020 is that year that you can write it down as okay, man, is very disappointing. Uh, yeah, um, lockdown should have remained and only lifted for Christmas next week. Yeah, but so for me, I think it's having that mindset that whatever come what may, whatever the situation is, and that is the survival mindset in a sense. Not just surviving, but also trying to thrive in the midst of the uncertainties. Come what may, I will just find a way to make the most of
Mm.
whatever situation that we find ourselves in. Because if you focus on the situation, it's very depressing for
Yeah.
many. Particularly for those that are by themselves. Really, they. I can imagine how depressing and disappointing that would be. You know, but we survived it to this point. People
Yeah.
have embraced Zoom, have embraced a means of
Maintaining
communicating,
contact.
yeah,
Mm.
maintaining contact like never before. It's almost become, it has become the new normal. So people watch movies together, raise a toast. The other day we had a stag do on Zoom, and we raised the toast. So people we're all kind of making the most of it, and I think the encouragement there. For those that always are disappointed, is just to find a way to make the most of Christmas. I guess it's that same whole idea of looking at the glass either half empty or half full.
Mm.
You know, for me now, I'm like, okay, what? In as much as I enjoy actually enjoy having people over, it means that now we're just going to be it's just going to be us, watching all those box sets, series on Netflix, resting and just sleeping on the couch for days on end and just sort of relaxing, So that is what Christmas is looking like right now. But I'm determined to make the most of it. You know. Anyway, so we hope that this time next week again, when we talk about when we find out how your Christmas has gone, you would have had a good Christmas. You know.
Yeah.
So we started off talking about the song we started playing earlier on. Uh, was,
That's
my-
if they feel let you sleep. Yeah.
yeah. You know, I think I found my way around that. You know, so these days when we have movie nights, I mean, Daddy always falls asleep first. You know, so as long as they are entertained and there's popcorn somewhere around about us. I mean, they're happy to leave Daddy to do his own thing.
To sleep.
Yeah, to sleep. You know. So yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to Christmas.
Yep.
You know, none of those surprise visits, whether the ones that we make or that people make to us. You know, does anybody get those surprise visits where you just have people knocking on your door?
But they're not really surprised. They're planned, aren't they?
Yeah, but they are planned. They planned it. What was that?
Kumbi said, "Nice to know that this is not ending." Yeah.
Yeah.
Have
No,
you caught up, Kumbi?
yeah, but Kumi, the next Sunday is the last session. For next Sunday, we're going to do a reflection on the last. Is it 10 months?
9 months. Is it 9 months?
Yeah. It was meant to be just for a few weeks, you know. And to be honest, we'll so miss it. I mean, I'm not even sure what we're going to. You know, obviously we'll occupy ourselves with other things, you know. But it's yeah, something that we're going to miss definitely. I didn't tell you. Yeah, exactly. They planned the visit, and they didn't tell me that they were coming, but they knew that we'll be home, right?
And
So they just showed up. So and somehow as well, I mean, you made the food, so you also somehow expect that some people will just show up anyway, you know, and they come, stuff themselves. We have fun, of course, and then they move on to their next appointment or their next plan. But to the person,
next stop.
yeah, but to the person receiving them unexpected,
Yeah, true.
you know. So once a month, we would Tima. Actually, there's a chat that we need to have about that because one of the challenges that we have, it's not a challenge really. Tima would have a chat about that, and we're happy to consider this as an idea going forward. So I would let you into some points on the back end of this conversation. Anyway, so we started out this today's conversation playing.
All I Want for Christmas.
Yeah.
By Mariah Carey.
Yeah. Do you know? Funnily, when we set up this theme for this month, right? It was just, you know, like when you hear, I mean, you just have a line, a theme, and you don't know what the source of it. Believe it or not, right?
Really?
Believe it or not, it was only like yesterday that I connected Mariah Carey to this song.
Are you serious?
I know that it's
Oh,
you know,
okay.
yeah, well, it was only like yesterday that I connected Mariah Carey to this song, really.
You know, so question for you out there. So Mariah Carey, All I Want for Christmas. Do you know the lyrics like to the whole song? Have you ever looked at the lyrics to the whole song?
Yeah.
I must admit, I only know like the chorusy bit, the bit that you hear, because you know, like it's kind of on repeat. If you go into shops around Christmas time, it's played on repeat. So all I know is the chorus bit. But do you know old people?
Well, who? Me or both of us?
But it must be both of us. So you know, the song was actually when was it released? 1994.
Yeah.
1994. I mean, there's probably some people on this that are listening to this that weren't even born.
Yeah.
So 1994. So it's like 26 years old.
Yeah.
But did you know the lyrics? Have you ever looked at the lyrics of the song?
But did you actually know what Mariah Carey?
Oh yeah.
Okay. All right. So does anybody know the lyrics to this song without googling it now? we know Google is your friend, but let's leave Google out of this for now. Oh, T Mark, here you've come again. I'm about to sort of hold on, she gets 100K in royalties a
100K
year.
in royalties a
Oh,
year for it.
you'll be surprised, T-Mac. I'll surprise you now. Okay, right. Any? Does anybody know the lyrics to this song? Anybody?
No, okay. Thanks for admitting that.
Yeah, right. Does anybody know the lyrics?
Do you
Eh,
know the lyrics to the song? I mean, I'm sure we all know the chorus, the hook, the bit that gets repeated over and over and over
the only
again.
bit I know is "All I want for Christmas is you." That's all I know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's true actually. But actually, the lyrics are quite they're quite nice, and they have a lot of meaning to it. So anyone, so okay, all right then. Do you want to just continue on?
yeah. Okay. Now, T Mac mentioned earlier on, and it's amazing to think about the song. Um, like you said, it's now 26 years on, right? Uh, at the time the song was released, interestingly, it was not even on the charts. It's never actually hit number one on the charts, even now, because it was just part of a Christmas album. And who does that really? I mean, when people release Christmas albums, they're usually at the end of their music career, sort of. But this was very early on in Mariah Carey's music career, so she was just encouraged to write that. But unlike T-Mac said, she makes 100K
A
a
year,
year in
dollars.
dollars, yeah.
Yeah.
But that is actually not, that's factually incorrect. For the first time, T-Mac, you're factually incorrect on this one. In the UK alone, actually, uh, every year she makes about $500,000 royalty on this song. You know, and when I think about that, there's actually a whole lot to talk about this song. Oh, okay. Someone said here on YouTube. I think I don't want. Oh, okay, Louisa, you should know, Louisa. You are a music person, so you should know all these lyrics. I mean, I honestly don't listen to lyrics per se. So, but the hook actually draws me in.
Mm.
Anyway, so she makes about $500,000 in the UK alone on royalties, or from, I guess, from streaming the music. you know. And when I thought about it, the fact that this song written 26 years ago didn't really come to light, or didn't really come to its own until pretty much in the last, there about maybe 15 or thereabout years, you know. And I found that quite encouraging because by the way, in the 26 years, the song has actually made her about $60 million, right? A single
One
song,
song.
a single song has made her about $60 million, And so the original point I was making is the fact that, at times you do stuff. I mean, whether you write a book, for some of us that write, or you start a business, or you buy a property, or do
Or you
something,
sing a song or
or
release
you
a
sing a
song.
song, whatever it's, yeah, release a song, like Louisa and other people out there. Whatever you do anyway, you've done stuff, but then it doesn't look like it's picking up. And usually what we do is we just shelve it, you know. And to think that the best of that song, as I mean, in fact, we only begin to see the glory in code of that song now. And could it be, for me, when I thought about this, I thought about it a whole lot. In fact, Mr. Lockdown Live, I'll get into all that. Okay. So when you think about the fact that um many a times you do stuff, right, and you move on, or you're disappointed because it hasn't quite worked out in the way that you thought it would work out. But it was one of those things that time and chance happened to
Yeah.
it, right? Because at the time the song was written, right, it was written when songs were in LPs, like an album, you know. Nobody would go out there and just extract a single. But what turned this song around was when streaming started, where people could actually, when the likes of Spotify moved
Arena.
into the arena, yeah, where you could actually just stream the song, a song alone, and I think it was in 2016
Yeah.
that that song, or this All I Want for Christmas Is You, actually was streamed in the UK alone. I think 100 and maybe 160 million times. Imagine that, you know. And I mean, it's just amazing to think about it. And then of course, Napster and the likes, you know. And so coming back to ourselves now, when you think about many things that you've done, because when I write at times, I'm like, okay, well, I'm writing now, I've written this book, I put it out there. Um, and at times you're tracking your sale, you're tracking the readership, and it doesn't look like a lot is happening to it,
Mm-hmm.
you know. But could it just be that, as you give yourself to it, supposed to just packing it up and just sort of,
Giving up.
giving up essentially? You just align yourself with purpose, keep pushing it. Of course, I just believe that your own time would come at some point.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing just to think about the fact that time and chance is what happened to this song. It wasn't like, in fact, our co-producer and writer at the time said that the song, when they wrote it initially, he didn't like it.
Mm.
So for him, it wasn't the best song they had written, but now it turns out to be one of the best um, uh, uh, cash cows, as it were. In
One of the, I think, highest grossing Christmas songs, I think.
Yeah, number 2 in the world, actually, ever. I mean, even in the what's it called, in
The quiz.
the quiz today, believe it or not, I got it wrong. Well,
Many people did.
yeah, because I believed it was the best. So Mr. Lognala said the song was written in 15 minutes. It's true. Think about that. The song was written in 15, and she actually wrote the song with the co-producer. The way the song was written, there are a number of versions to that story, and this is I'm going to tie this in, as I continue with this conversation. I mean, a lot of writers would understand this. The song was actually, you would think, okay, a Christmas song was probably written in December or in Christmas, right? The song was written in summer, and what they did was they just created an environment uh, to allow their creativity to flow. They set up a scene of Christmas in a place in New York somewhere, and the idea just came through, all in 15 minutes. But I dare say that even though the song was, or at least so it seemed that it was 15 minutes. You know what they say about overnight success, right? People see you arrive, or they see a song written in 15 minutes. But behind the scene, there's probably a few other things that were sort of lining up, aligning, thoughts coming together, and things like that, that would have contributed to that 15 minutes, or what seemed to be 15 minutes of inspiration, you know, um, years of writing, and putting stuff together. But nonetheless, 15 minutes was what it took. And when I thought about that, what occurred to me was the fact that, um, think about it. I mean, Jesus was, 30 years when he started ministry, and only ministered for 3 years, and many years on, over 2,000 years on, the impact of those 3 years is still being felt. And I've just been thinking about that, and again, for all of us, really, it's just knowing that your life doesn't have to be. I mean, of course, everybody wants to live a long life. Everybody wants to have a longevity, which is good. But it doesn't have to be long for it to have impact. Even you don't have to even labor long for your life to have impact, or for your work to have impact. That is one thing that song taught me. That 15 minutes of inspiration could turn around your life entirely. In fact, when she's long gone, right, this song will carry on, and our children and our children's children will still be living off this song.
Yeah, it's interesting also that kind of, you said that people don't write Christmas songs or whatever, and because it's a Christmas song, every year when we come to Christmas, it's played again.
Yeah, it's almost evergreen. Every year it comes out.
Yeah, every year. So every year we are singing the song, we're hearing the song more and more, and she's making more money, you know? So it's something that is repeatedly providing a source of income for her, but also we're remembering her. And it's like, even like, you know, like if we think about Christmas generally, you know, Christmas time is a season where actually people that maybe don't usually go to church or whatever, they come back to church, you know, in this season. So it's almost like a period where they kind of either reflect or just think about the Christmas story once again, you know?
Yeah, no, so true, so true. You know, the other thing about the song that I like, I mean, Manny said the simplicity of it. It's truly, and it was that simplicity that made the manager or the co-writer think that made him think less of the song. But that is also the reason why the song uh, has actually been a hit, or at least one of the reasons, you know. But I gave it a long thought, and I wanted to find out. I mean, why would the song be such a hit? I mean, there are many reasons people have given. One of the reasons that people said the song has been a hit is because it kind of it was set in the. I mean, it was written in 1994, but seemed to have that vibe or setting of, you know, some sort of song written in the 1960s. You know, one of those sort of what do you call those sort of songs that have longevity and, you know, time and age, but it's aged very well, that people still love to go back to it, you know. So because of the kind of rhythm that it has, when you listen to it without knowing the person that wrote the song, you're thinking, wow, this sounds like a song that was written in the 60s, or, you know, or maybe early 70s, you know. But for me, I think the reason why this song actually has been a hit is because it touches on one, the real meaning or the real essence of Christmas. You know, what, let's look at a bit of the lyrics of the song, right? Because when you think about the lyrics of the song, you only need to just replace one word there, and believe it or not, it becomes like a worship song. You know, just one word and it becomes a worship song. I know, of course, I'm a Christian, so I mean, it's easy for me to see Christ in everything, you know. But let's just read two lines of that song, you know. I don't want to read this.
Okay. So for those that don't know the lyrics, here we go.
This is just two lines of it.
Yeah. A few of them. So it says, I don't want a lot for Christmas. There is just one thing I need. I don't care about the presents underneath the Christmas tree. I just want you for my own, more than you could ever know. Make my wish come true. All I want for Christmas is you.
Yeah, and they said, yeah, and all of that. Yeah, you know. Well, but think about it.
Please face me as you sing it. Pass the mic.
No, I don't want my voice. I wouldn't even try to sing it. You know, but think about it. You know, if you replace, you know, it says all I want for Christmas is, you know, it says baby, right? So if you just replace that with God, Jesus, or whatever, it becomes a worship song. You know, and for me, actually, you know, thinking about that, that I think is why the song has been such a hit. Not because it's a worship song, but because it really touches touches the real meaning of Christmas. Like someone said, when you bring Christmas and love together, you know, it would always be a hit, because Christmas is really a celebration of love, right? And over the years, what we've done is we've replaced of course, we still have that love sort of idea to Christmas, but it's not, so rather than the demonstration of the love in terms of the tangibility of it, it's been replaced by just the exchange of gifts.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that. You know, definitely nothing wrong with exchange of gifts. I mean, you can't. I mean, I often say that you can't uh, love without giving. You can give without loving, but you can't love without giving. Even though initially you're trying to figure out how that logic makes sense, but I can give you stuff without loving you, but you can't say you love someone without giving. So the song more or less is now saying, okay, well, I mean, Christmas is coming, but I don't really want anything. The real gift that you could give me is yourself, you know. And I think more than um just like okay, yeah, more than just uh uh the 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 lyrics of the song. This season that we find ourselves in actually would test that our own the real meaning of Christmas for a lot of people. As I reflected again, I was thinking about how there are two main times in the year that people think about love, right? In the way when it comes to in the feeling, the feel good time for love. Think about it, love for Christmas, right? But then also Valentine's, you know. And I thought to myself that when you think about Valentine's now, you think about what women usually get really excited. More, I mean, mostly women, except maybe there are guys out there that get the guys are concerned about how much they would have to spend, for Valentine's. But then when you think about Christmas, the feeling is different because in the real sense of it, there is an exchange. It's not just there's almost a real demonstration of love at play in the real sense of it. I know that for a lot of people it's just become about giving of gifts, so it this season now that we're all on lockdown, I wonder how that would play out, right? I wonder how that would play out. Given that we're on lockdown now, we can't really just some people have bought their gifts, right? Because that's what we do. We buy gifts and we eat together. That is the demonstration of our love. But what would that look like? What would it now look like? I mean, it would be nice to see where, at the end of Christmas, you've not been able to give the gift. Of course, to the people in your household, you're able to do that, right? But to the people outside of your household, well, you can ship the gifts to them, right? But it's not the same. It's not like being there in the same space as we normally do and watch them unwrap the gift. Because watching them unwrap the gift is for me, it's part of the whole experience. Seeing the look on their face. For some, the fake smile because they don't really like the gift. But for some others, the real genuine sort of excitement at the gift that they've got. But now that you can't really do a lot of that, now that you can't really share
the experience in the same way.
Yeah, in the same way, the Christmas dinner, the turkey, and all that. How then are we going to really demonstrate this love? I think that is the question. How then do we demonstrate this love? Because I think, well, to my mind, what I think would happen is that a lot of people come out of this having a different attitude to Christmas, because for their lifetime, for our lifetime, pretty much, none of us have been able to spend Christmas, or none of us would be spending Christmas in the way that we're spending it now. So there will be some changes to the way that we sort of spend Christmas. So I think the question then is, how would, given that we will not be able to have that experience, which is in the food, for some people, the wine, the beer, and the drinking, and also then the gifts. How are we supposed to still communicate that love, in a way that is heartfelt? Because if I can't give you gift, for those that have identified love as, okay, well, yeah, this is your coming bearing gift. So what would it then look like? I think this is a question. Zoom
Okay.
calls.
Zoom calls, expressing the love in words, hopefully not text, rather than generic wording in cards. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. Well, does anybody have any other thoughts on that?
So how else can we show love if we can't give gifts in the same way that we would usually give gifts? We can't eat together in the way that we would usually eat together as a big family or friends or whatever. How else can we show
Sharing
love?
love with a neighbor. Are you allowed to do that
Share a meal with a neighbor.
yeah,
Depends. If it's a support bubble, then yes, you can.
in tier 4?
There's a support bubble. If it's a support bubble,
Yeah.
so some people have support bubbles, so you can. So how can we show love, given that we can't see everyone that we wanted to see, or should I say we shouldn't be seeing everyone that we want to see?
Yeah.
So Zoom call's interesting. I was thinking actually that that could be something that could do as an extended family as well.
Do you know, Kumbi, this actually happened to me. Yes, well, actually, it was on Friday. I got a message from someone saying, they wanted to drop me a Christmas gift, and of course, you would expect me to be excited, and I was indeed excited. But then it occurred to me again. I thought, hold on a minute, I can't have this guy or this person in my house in the way that you normally. I mean, it felt strange.
Yeah.
Just for someone bringing a gift to me and then me receiving it at the door, right? So it took me a while to confirm to him what to do, because he wanted to come around to drop the gift. So obviously, I then ended up sending him a text saying, well, given the new restrictions, that I don't know I'm going to be able to receive the gift. Then what did he do? Then he came on Saturday morning, dropped the gift at my door, and then walked, well, almost more or less went back to his car and called me.
So he's a delivery driver.
Yeah. So it felt so strange, So I mean, you would have people like that. I mean, for us, I guess what we've done is we've more or less just shipped the gifts out to people, to some people, yeah, just send it directly, and yeah, but again, that feels strange because I like to see the
you like to be able to give it to someone.
Yeah.
So someone said, Manny said, that's the only way your mom receives love. Interesting. So how are you going to do it this year then? So maybe there might be some people that your love language is or your highest love language is actually gifts. So if it's gifts and you can't really receive gifts in the same way, how else can love be shown to you?
Yeah, that's actually a very good question. Yeah. So, but I think with the gift one, it's easy.
Why?
The reason why it's easy is because, like we've said now, you can ship the gift to the person.
Yeah.
But if it's acts of service, right, where the idea is you come to the house or they come to your house, you do the cooking, you serve them properly, but you can't really do that now. Then how do you show that? Or someone whose love language is time. Just sort of spending time together. How do you do that?
Wow.
And she drops it off at the door. It was initially weird, but just planning a Christmas drive-by. Wow.
Christmas drive-by. Oh.
Yeah.
You said cash.
Yeah. What are people's
love languages?
Okay, well, should we get into that?
Yeah, we may as well.
Yeah, but essentially, I mean, that's actually a good question. Timak, is this a proper question that you're asking, or you just want us to just touch on it? Yeah, but there's a book written by
Gary
Chapman. Yeah, it talks about 5 love languages.
5 love languages.
Yeah, it talks about acts of service, quality time, gifts, words of affirmation, and then touch. Is it touch?
Yeah.
Yeah. So imagine if someone's love language is touch.
Oh.
Right. So I don't care for any gift, like Mariah Carey said, but physically the person can't be there. The person can't be there to serve or to even just touch, So how then do those sort of people receive love? You can buy all the gifts, you can ship it over. But then, so how do we serve these people? Because at the end of the day, it's not love unless, well, i- for you the giver, right? You think it's an expression of love, but unless it's received as understood, then you haven't quite communicated love, have you?
Yeah.
So it's actually a thought, but I guess again everybody understands where we are, and we're just having to live with it.
But interestingly, I was just thinking about my dad's birthday.
Yeah.
And lockdown.
Yeah, that's the first. So our dad's birthday is on the 1st of January. Yeah. Every year for the last 11 years, even when we were away for Christmas last year, we had to come back in time to be at my in-laws on the 1st of January. So this year now will be the first in 14 years at least that we will not be doing that.
Wow.
Yeah, So and I know for him it's the presence. It's always been there.
Yeah.
It's not the gift, it's really just been there.
Having people around, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
We're
gonna have to arrange a Zoom party then.
Yeah, well,
and send food.
Yeah, that won't be a problem. That won't be a problem. So coming back to the point, which is given that we're not going to be able to show our love in the way that we normally do that. Yeah, and by that we don't mean just any give. We're talking about people that you really care for. How are we going to be able to achieve that same end? But I guess people will understand that it's we're this is not this is unusual. These are unusual times now, but so we'd have to make do. Some parents with milestone birthdays in lockdown.
Yeah, it's so true.
So I mean, it's an interesting one, but I guess for me, the conclusion of it, even though I don't know that there's a way to achieve that. We started talking about Mariah Carey's song. The point of it is, even though we are not able to show it in the way that we're used to, being there, whether Zoom or whether on the phone, just at least making our presence felt in a way that demonstrates honor and respect. I think it's key at this time. There's a scripture that came to mind as we talk about this love. It says, "In this is love." This is 1 John 4:10. It says, "In this is love, not that we have loved God, but that He loved us and sent His Son to be a propitiation for our sins." So essentially, this scripture here is more or less defining God's love in that it's about the presence, it's about the person. We didn't love Him first, but then He actually gave Himself for us. So I will be thinking now, I mean, in light of what we're talking about, that in what way can I still, because love is sacrificial, right? In what way can I still be sacrificial in my giving of myself, or in my giving or my disposition in this season that would still communicate the expression of my love. So for your dad, I don't know what that would look like.
I'm not even sure. I don't know. I have to think about it. But I guess if we can arrange for everyone to log on at a certain time, I think he'd appreciate that. I know he'd appreciate that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, on the whole, the idea is when we think about Christmas, it's as Mariah Carey said, it's not about the gifts, it's not about the food, it's not about Santa, it's not about all the trappings that we associate with it. It's understanding that it's about love.
Mm.
It's first of all understanding God's love for us, and His expectation for us of us to also demonstrate that love in our dealings with other people. You know, nothing beats that. Not the food, not the gift. It's just that it's giving of ourselves sacrificially
Mm.
in a way that honors God. You know, so that I think it's where we plan a Zoom meal. Well, these are some ideas.
Thank you for the ideas. So plan a Zoom meal and get him to open his presents after the meal while everyone says something nice. That's nice.
I,
And someone said synchronized meal and gift opening on the call. So I think that's an idea actually.
these are good ideas, but have you noticed that it's the ladies that are coming up with
No,
these
that's
ideas?
Tunje.
Okay, I thought that was for me.
No.
Yeah. Well, let's see. Yeah. Oh, sorry. You know,
No, these are nice ideas. Yeah, definitely.
Arike, I thought you were on honeymoon. Anyway, good to see you join last minute. To
We
go.
still have
Kumbi, you've come to this party late, and you want to squeeze us of every juice you can.
gosh.
But yeah. So all we want
It's
for
me.
Christmas.
Okay, look, Tunji saying it is him.
Okay.
So thank you for the suggestions.
Yeah. Do you know something else that I observed actually? I mean, given that it's a bit of a digression here, but I think it still feeds into the same thing. Do you know that? And I guess using ourselves as an example now, at least maybe I should use myself. I should speak for myself. I find that there's so the lockdown, Christmas in a sense, coming to this point in the year, it's almost as if there's an added layer of pressure that comes with Christmas, that almost um, it's almost pent up in the sense that uh, in the last few days or 2 weeks now, I feel I get frustrated easily because why are you laughing? Because it's Christmas, and I think I mentioned it the first week, but then I didn't understand why. But I think it's because the changes, these are not things that we're used to. The way it's playing out, very easily one could get frustrated and almost express oneself in anger and frustration. But it's knowing that in this time of the year, in this particular season that we are in, the best thing that we can do for ourselves and the people around us is not the food, it's not the gifts, whatever. It's actually giving of ourselves. Um, because whether we like it or not, we are creating memories, whether they're good memories or bad memories, or we can go through a bad situation yet create good memories. So um, I guess I want to encourage us all, regardless of what you're going through, regardless of how difficult and challenging the situations that we find ourselves have, that we can still come out of it with some good memories. So this week now, I've planned with the kids that we're going to bake some. Oh, so Daddy's going to bake the Christmas cake and some gingerbread man uh, um, pastries. So
the question is, have you baked a cake before?
I don't need to bake a cake before. I'm sure I can bake a cake. Google is my friend. Yeah, I've not baked a cake before.
So it's Christmas holidays.
Yeah.
So I'm in for surprise. I'm working tomorrow. So when I come back from work, I will see the cake. So can we eat the cake before Christmas?
Yes, we can. If it goes well, right?
What do you mean if? Why won't it go well?
Hold on. Let me just let people know. If it goes well, Daddy baked it. If it goes wrong, the kids made it. Okay. So if it goes well, Daddy made it. If it goes wrong, the kids made it. But I'm sure that it will go well, even if it means having a few trials before you get back from work. So all right. Anyway, thank you all.
Someone said you need a backup cake.
No, don't worry. I have enough time to try it out a few times and I'll get it right. Listen, this lockdown, one of the things that I've done this lockdown that has been really good, I mean, and my wife can attest to that, You know, I've been very, very good with getting recipes of the internet and following them well enough.
Buying the ingredients, cooking, and delivering the food.
Yeah, so I won't be disappointed. It's a challenge. So only that I can't share my cake with you guys online, but I can show. I'll take some photos and put them on Instagram. So I'm looking forward to making creating some experiences with the kids. So it's not about the quality of the cake, okay? It's about the experience.
Nice.
I'm sure it will be, but above all, it's about the experiences we create with the kids, and that is the focus of it.
Kumbi's asking, what have you made? So do you want to say?
What have I made?
Yes. Over this period. What did you make? So you made okra.
I've made a lot. I've made a last for those that know okra mixed with
curry goats.
I made curry goat. I've made all kinds of stuff. I don't know that I should be mentioning all that. Yeah. But you'd agree I've made a whole lot.
He's made a lot. Yeah. I think your challenge was to make something different each week.
Yeah, and I've tried. So anyway, all right. Thanks for another good session. Every passing session, makes me want to consider continuing beyond December, but we'll see how it goes. Next week is the last session on the blue sofa, and we would be looking forward to having you guys. Please join in next week. Don't say it's the last one, so you're not going to join in.
Join in, and we'd like to know, feedback. Like, what was your most memorable thing about the blue sofa or session, or which ones touched your heart the most? That would be great.
Manny, have faith in your guy, right? Have faith in your guy.
Some people don't have faith. I'm sure you'll be fine.
I know, of course. I know.
Look, someone said don't mix up salt and sugar. Oh gosh.
So don't worry. Just see, you guys. You don't need to worry about me, okay? I just don't cook. I know I have a natural gifting. It's God-given. Okay? So it's gonna turn out right. Anyway, have a nice week. God bless you.
Have a great week. Take care.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.